Welcome to the Messy Success Podcast. I am Elizabeth Henson, your host, and I have such an inspiring and special guest for you today. I met Kellina on Clubhouse. And I haven't even been on Clubhouse that often, I have to admit, but it is just so beautiful and awesome when I get to make these actual connections and bring people here to you as well. So, Kellina is a young entrepreneur and she loves to help people with their personal growth, but also she educates others about the deaf community. And she has an inspiring story, and I love how she shows up. You guys are going to really enjoy this conversation, and it's going to open your heart and your mind. It definitely did for me too. So let's get started and bring on sweet little Kellina. All right. Hello, Kellina. I am so excited to have you here today with us to talk about such an important topic. And we met on Clubhouse, which I just think is such a win. So, I've already introduced you, but why don't you, in your own words, tell everyone who you are?
Thank you so much for having me, Elizabeth. I'm super excited to be here. And for me, oh my God, I have so many things. So for me, I am an upcoming mental health coach, upcoming author, and as well, I am an advocate for the deaf community. Little do people know, I am actually a deaf person. And yeah, it's really shocking. And I also I'm an upcoming Instagrammer, blogger. So I'm literally on my right path on getting things and getting myself up there. But yes, and that's who I am.
I love it. I know. And we met on Clubhouse, which ironically enough, when Clubhouse first came about and I was all like bragging about it, I had someone message me and was like, I'm not going to support Clubhouse because they don't support the deaf community. So tell me a little bit about like how that actually works. How were you able to get on Clubhouse? Did they make any changes? Do you feel like it's a platform that supports the deaf?
Um, it's not the platform; it's the people that run the room. I would say there's some rooms that's accommodating than others. I would say so far from my experience, it's okay. Um, the way for people to accommodate someone that is deaf, they can say before they start speaking, say this is Kalina speaking, blah 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 blah. When you're done speaking, say I'm done speaking, because that's the way. That way we can follow the conversation. And little do people know that people who are hard of hearing or deaf, we have a hard time following up conversation if it's a group of people. So if there's one on one, it's easier. But if there's so many people talking all at once, especially myself, I lose focus. I said, okay, bye, forget it. I'm walking out. So it just that's the best way. But I mean, I don't blame those who are not aware of it because we're not educated about the topic. So it's really understandable. And I would tell people, encourage people, like, hey, you have to do this because you just never know who's listening, who's coming to your room. You want to represent yourself super powerful to the point where you want people who have disability to be able to support you, right? So
Absolutely. And it just shows you that why what you're doing is so important because I didn't really know that that was one of the benefits to the whole I'm done speaking thing. I just thought that was like clubhouse etiquette. Now I'm like, I feel way stronger about it knowing that it actually helps you guys.
yes, it really does help us a lot. It really does, especially for those who use closed caption. Because there are two people use two different devices for Clubhouse, right? One for the phone for the Clubhouse, and then the other one is like a speaker. But the person that is translating it and closed caption, so you can follow the conversation. That's why it's important to say this is clean speaking, so that we can follow the conversation. So that's why it's important for people to keep saying like this is clean speaking. I'm done speaking to follow the conversation.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So this is actually like a third party thing. Do you use it obviously for more things than just Clubhouse? And is it automated or is it an actual person that's helping you?
Everybody's different. I know some people use Google Meet and some people use an app. So there's an app for closed caption now.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. Social media can be so frustrating, but when you see like these milestones, then it's like there really is hope. I know I have another hearing impaired entrepreneur person in my circle, and I just like think that it's so important. I used to actually be a teacher, so I had deaf students, so I always had an interpreter in my classroom. And it's just, yeah, it's just really important work. So I just want to acknowledge you for putting yourself out there, because I'm sure that's not easy. It's not easy for any of us.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah. So tell us about your book. You said you're writing a book too.
Yes, I'm writing a book. It's called Every Day I Am Just Deaf. So it's a mixed with poetry and biography where I speak about my personal life experience in the hearing community.
I love it. So, if you don't mind sharing, have you always been deaf, like since birth, or did it come later?
It actually came later when I became deaf at the age of 4.
Wow. What do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So it all started when I ended up having an ear infection,
Hmm.
and my doctor prescribed me an ear drop for the ear infection. I guess the next day, or I don't remember. I don't remember. I went to daycare, and the daycare screwed up my hearing. They did either the two. Either they didn't follow instruction, or they put too much eardrop in my ears. And the
Ah.
same day I went home, my hearing the drop, and I was sitting in front of a TV, and my mom was calling me, and I was like, "Huh?" And she tapped my shoulder. She's like, "Kalina, I've been calling you," and I'm like, "I can't hear." She's like, "You're joking, right?" I'm like, "No, mom, I can't hear." And my mom was a young mom, very
Oh,
young, and she had no idea what was going on. She called my grandmother. My grandma is the nurse. Was the nurse. Thank goodness. And my grandma spoke to me on the phone. I couldn't hear my grandma on the phone either. And my grandma rushed home from the hospital, like sit down with me, trying to figure out if I was joking or am I just playing game. And then it was just crazy. And then the next day, we went to my family doctor. He said it was too late. That nothing could be done. I was like, what? And I was so confused because I couldn't hear. I was looking. My mom was so mad. Like, oh my god, they daycare. And I didn't even know what was happening because I'm sitting there so lost and confused. I was like, huh?
yeah. For a 4-year-old, that must have been so confusing. And you actually have like memory of it.
Yeah, because it honestly, I feel like when something tragic happened to you, you will always remember it. Same thing with car accident. You will always remember your first car accident.
Yeah. So, did you guys ever like look into it anymore, like to pursue what actually happened or like get to the bottom of what actually caused the deafness?
So the doctor never said anything about that what I'm aware of. He only said I had an ear infection and the daycare didn't follow instruction and then that's what happened.
Oh my gosh. I feel like we were meant to meet because we had quite the daycare situation. I've shared about it on a past episode too, but it's like, oh, my mom heart. No, everything's fine with my kids, but I was all the way in California, and a child at our daycare passed away. And like, so we all of a sudden, like, obviously pulled our kids out of daycare. We had two there at the time. It was a friend of mine's daughter. And it's just like, man, and now it's like, we're not here to like play the blame game, like, oh my God, your daycare provider, this, that. But just like as a mother, I can't imagine what your mom was experiencing and how scary that was for you. And then knowing like maybe this was all preventable. I mean, how do you like cope?
I really didn't even know. Like, I was 4 years old. You don't even know what is going on. And you're just a baby and you had to grow up so fast just because of something tragic happened to you. And for a 4 year old, I would imagine that for my own child, like, especially if that happened to my kid. I'd be like, what?
Yeah. Now, so has your mom learned how to sign, and like how has she dealt with all of it?
So, so thank goodness my family doctor being super supportive. She recommended a bunch of audiologists by the house. And so the audiologist was saying because I already speak, right, and because my speech will change a little bit, that's what they were saying. And I would hear words differently with the hearing aids versus with my normal. And so my doctor would recommend me to do a speech therapist and just to continue speaking because my mom felt like the sign language wasn't really necessary, but because she was thinking about my future and she was thinking about, okay, but when she gets older, not a lot of people are going to learn sign language. And
Hmm.
sign language is not taught in school. So it's not like people will keep up with that. So what my family did They put me into two different schools when I was young. So they put me in a deaf school and a hearing school so that I can communicate with two different communities. So it was
Oh,
super cool.
amazing.
Yeah, so I was able to learn sign language when I was young, when I was at the deaf school, but then I ended up stop going because it was too far from my house, and it was very hard to do because my mom was a young mom, she was in college, and then my grandma was a nurse, and then there was just nobody to take me out of that school to transfer, which is too much. So I just stick to the hearing school, and then yeah.
Oh my gosh. So were the kids nice to you when you were young, growing up? What was that like?
For me, growing up, it was very hard. I would say trying to fit in two different communities. I feel like my personality is so different every time, and I guess that's why people said you have a split personality. And I guess because I'm so used, I don't know, because I grew up with it. There's like different personality. Like it's like my bad. It was just hard, and I was bullied a lot in the hearing school, obviously. It was very hard to be myself in the deaf school. I mean, the hearing school because I had to figure out a way to fit. I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
and you're always focused on just trying to comprehend the conversation. Whereas
yeah,
I'm sure with the deaf community, like you can just be you.
exactly, exactly. And I feel like the communication barrier was a huge issue in the hearing school because these
Yeah.
little kids, they don't know any better. They'll pick on me with my ear and I'm like, oh, ear, what is that thing on your ears? And just it's just hard. And I remember I think it was one day I went outside. I think it's recess, and like
Hmm.
the guy just got mad at me. He just pushed me down the stairs, and I'm like, what? And then he pushed me down the hill, and at the point where I had to go to the hospital, and I was like, what the heck?
Oh
And then
my
my mom went
gosh.
to school. They didn't even do anything. It's just bad. And then my mom said, why? Because she just deaf. Like I don't understand. My daughter can write. My daughter can do this. Like
Right.
she can't hear. That's the only issue. Like
Oh
why
my
she didn't
gosh.
get that. So that was definitely my experience in school while growing up. But when I got to high school, I got a lot better because I was able to learn so much about myself and
Yeah.
learn ways how I communicate with people. And I felt like because I figured out how to be myself in the hearing community, and so I got better in high school moving forward. So
Yeah, you become a little bit stronger and able to stand up for yourself. And at least I'm so glad that that's your journey, right? I know it's not everybody's. So tell me a little bit about like turning into an entrepreneur. So do you have another job? Is this your only job? What does like working look like for you? Tell us everything.
this life entrepreneur is very interesting. It's fun. But
Yes.
there were a few challenging at the time because of my hearing. I would never like make my hearing get in a way to become successful. I would never do that. But there's some struggles where I know. I remember this one time a person wanted to book a podcast with me, and he tried to FaceTime me. I think on Instagram, but then
Uh-huh.
I didn't have my hearing aid on. And I was like, "Oh, I have to call you later," or something like that. And then someone else sent me a voice note. I'm like, no, don't tell me the voice notes. I fully told you guys I was deaf. Like I have to read lips in order to see the conversation. So do not voice notes. So it's a little challenging sometimes. Some people just don't understand. I'm like, no, 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 no. Don't tell me no voice note. Just either email me or just send me a message. That's it.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
get in like autopilot and they just forget. I mean, even when my friend said that to me about Clubhouse when it first came out, I was like, gosh, like I feel terrible that I don't just like walk through the world, thinking about all of these things. Even being a teacher and having deaf students, it's just, that's no excuse, but like we get into autopilot. And that's why I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy that you're doing the work that you're doing to be that reminder because we need that constant reminder so that we can make the world better.
Exactly, exactly. It's hard because like, again, we never taught about this topic in school, right? It's in my head it's like why this topic's not taught to interact with someone who have a disability. It's just kinda done. It's just like this is ridiculous, right? And I just feel like alone the education system really do impact a lot of our learning, thinking and all that pressure.
Yeah. I mean, even when I had, the students and the interpreter, it's not like the other kids could communicate with them. So it was still, very isolating and lonely for them. Luckily we had a good little deaf community, but like you said, you want to be able to integrate with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That is
Yeah.
definitely my goal, to make sure I make two community coming together. That would always be my goal.
Yeah, I love it. It's so beautiful. So what would you say is your specialty? Obviously, you're creating awareness around the deaf community. You're creating awareness around your journey. Tell us a little bit about like what it looks like to work with you or how you like make money doing all this.
Oh my goodness. So, as of for now, I am doing like podcasting for free just for now, just to get my voice heard and just to educate other people. And also too, because I'm getting my mental health coaching off the ground, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
It's not off the ground fully, but I just still have to do a couple paperwork to do, and the website, because the website is really a lot of work than I thought.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and well, I've been a speaker for a lot of people, and I've been getting paid to do a lot of little mini projects, for a lot of different Instagram posts, like mental health and the deaf community, which is really rewarding. So yeah, so that's how I'm getting paid for now, and plus my book is coming up, so I'll be getting paid for my book. So as of now, because I'm getting popular, a lot of people been contacting me through Clubhouse. This is doing. I'm like, okay, now I have to start charging people now because it's a lot. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, and Clubhouse, I'm not on there very much, but aren't they doing that thing now where like you could buy a cup of coffee? So like you can, I think they have a couple people on there that can monetize the platform. And there's a new platform out called Wisdom, and I'll send it to you. It just actually launched today. I was in their beta program. I don't know how well they support the deaf, but I would imagine it would be similar to Clubhouse where you could use the third party, but they have almost like a Bitcoin setup. And so when you speak and mentor, just for speaking, you're accruing this mentor coin that turns into money. So I just hit like 600 and some mentor coins, which turns into like $5. And it's just for your airtime. So that would be real. I mean, it's not going to be like make money fast,
yeah,
but instead of Clubhouse, if you're not monetizing over there, at least you know on Wisdom, hey, if I'm live, I'm going to get a few like of the mentor coins here and there. So I'll send that to you because it's brand new, but that might be a good place for you to connect with people as well.
yeah, I would love it. I would love to help on anything that get me networking. I love networking. So
Yeah, well, and you're so good at it. And I think that people are naturally going to gravitate to you because you're kind of making this slightly uncomfortable conversation more comfortable.
yeah,
Right? Like, I was like, I'm just going to show her how little I know and ask the questions, but you handle it so beautifully. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you're working on the book. What else are you really excited about moving forward with your business?
I'm really excited to kind of be the next Beyonce in my deaf community. So that is something I'm super excited about because I was a speaker actually for the number one deaf organization in Canada. So
Oh, awesome.
it was really surprising, and I didn't expect to kick off super fast, to be honest, after that. And when I spoke to people what I do and how I can help them, and so I wanted to start mentoring people in terms of finding the passion and turn into a business. So that's the next business I'm thinking about doing right now. So that is something next. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I just think about like, how could in my business, how could I, utilize somebody like you? And I think it's just making people that are deaf or other disabilities like feel more comfortable, almost having that like support person in a community. I mean, there's so many amazing ways that you can monetize this. Kind of like the people who know how to sign have more jobs or can get paid more. The people that speak Spanish can get paid more, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Do you have like a super success story for us on how maybe you made a connection on social media and how that really like took you to the next level? Is there one particular relationship that stands out?
I had one. Um, actually, a client of mine, actually, and she came to me and she's like, "Hey, Kellina, like this platform, this person I'm following, she had like over like 100K followers. She was huge, and she came up to me. She's like, "Hey, Kellina, like her Instagram doesn't have closed caption."
Hmm.
I'm like, "Excuse me, what do you mean there's no closed caption? There's automatic closed caption now on Instagram." And so luckily, I found her on Clubhouse. And I
Yeah.
was able to message her on the back channel. And I'm like, hey, like, your Instagram is not stoppable. Someone, my client just said she loved your page and she really wants to continue following. However, I don't want you to lose a follower.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you. And she's like, no, wait, can you please? And she literally, we did all her Instagram and put closed caption. I showed her some key ways to make it fast instead of taking her time. And she's like, wait, what? This is so quick and easy. I'm like, it's easy, it's fast. I know how to get the closed caption faster than you all think. It's not that hard. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I made her page more accessible.
That's amazing. Imagine like how many people you could help just by that simple act, right?
Yeah, just something so simple. I was like, oh my God. Like, and then it was funny because she posted me on her Instagram and she's like, everybody follow Kellina if you need help. Follow her. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. But I love it like that you're helping people and becoming known as the person that helps people because it can be a little uncomfortable or like people are afraid to say the wrong thing, and you're kind of opening that door, like building a little bit of a bridge there because it's, you know,
Yeah, it's very hard to talk about a tough topic like this, especially if no one talks about it.
yeah.
And so, like, I noticed that on Instagram and TikTok, like, there are a few people that talk about it, but there's not that much that person themselves actually advocating for themselves like that. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm just like, let me just take a shot and let's see how this goes. Because it's been less than a year that I've been doing advocating for the deaf community. So it's kind of crazy. Like, my Instagram is already at 2,600 followers since May. So I'm like, oh my God, what?
Yeah. That's incredibly fast for sure.
It
Oh my
was
gosh.
unexpected.
Yeah, and your family must be so proud. Like, what an example of, something doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And this is just going to pave the way for you to make such an impact, like, on the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, that always gets me excited, just really thinking about, like what kind of impact can we leave? What kind of legacy can we leave for our kids? You're going to be able to build a huge business and awareness and make money, but also help people.
Yes, yes.
I love it. Okay, so tell us where we can find you, where we can connect with you in the future when we need your help. What do we do?
So everybody can find me on my Instagram, which is dubqueenboss. And if you really want, I know some people do not have social media, so you can find me on my email, which is dubqueenboss@gmail.com. I'm just making it simple. It's not
Deafqueenboss at
complicated.
gmail.com.
Yeah, dubqueenboss. That's it.
I love it. And you love meeting people, you love networking. Is there anything else that we can do to support you? Obviously, advocating for closed caption, advocating for the deaf community, but is there anything specific that the listeners can do for you?
I would love for everybody to click the follow button on my Instagram, and guess what? I have a YouTube channel. I'm talking about my deaf experience. So follow me on my YouTube. YouTube, subscribe, Deaf Queen Boss.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I didn't know you were starting a YouTube. That's really incredible. And you guys, that follow button like means so much. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's like something that we can do that takes zero effort and it's free and it really supports somebody following their dream. And I'm so over this whole like curate your news feed, unfollow people that aren't serving you. And it's like, no, like if you really believe in small businesses, if you really believe in change, if you really believe in community and like supporting others, it's a follow button, people. Right? Like it's not that serious. Oh my goodness. It's like that's something I'm super passionate about. Is like seriously, if you meet someone, if they said one little thing that helped you or impacted you, like that's a free way that you can support their small business.
Yes, small
I
business
love it.
is the best to support because
Okay.
we love our customers so much than the big company.
You're so right. I mean, it gets me emotional sometimes just thinking about
Mm,
because yes, I'm helping my clients and customers, but like they're helping me. They're helping me. They're changing my life. They're helping me build this business for my family. I mean, it's just like this ripple effect. So, for the book, are you doing anything building community around the book? Is there anything we can do to support you there, or is that all to be continued and we can find it on your Instagram?
You guys can find it on my Instagram.
Okay. Awesome. Well, if you need help when that time comes, just say the word and we'll rally around you to get that book some views.
I would love
And
that. I would love that. Thank you.
yes, awesome. Okay, well, I appreciate your time and your energy and what you're doing for the world so much. I know this has been helpful for me and for everyone listening as well.
Thank you.
Isn't she the cutest, you guys? All right, don't forget that you can connect with Kellina on Instagram at instagram.com/deafqueenboss. I have really enjoyed just connecting with her, following her journey. I can't wait to see everything unfold with the book. And I want you guys to remember that you can make these connections with other people in the craziest places, right? Like, we're not always on social media just posting content and going about our business. Like, we can actually connect with other human beings and help spread awareness around really important things. And as always, I'm so grateful that you guys are here, that you're listening, that you took your time and energy to listen to Kellina's message. And don't forget that you can always join us inside the Community Builder on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com and just search the Community Builder group, and we can continue these important conversations. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys soon.